In today's video, I'm gonna share 10 products that I sold in my Amazon FBA business that you can literally steal and resell for yourself. These include items like board games, DVDs, toys, and all kinds of different products that you could source and flip for some serious profits on Amazon. Now, before we jump into it, I wanna give a big shout out to the sponsor of today's video, SellerAmp. SellerAmp is my go-to product research tool for online and retail arbitrage. I use it to analyze deals, check my profit margins, and calculate my ROI before I ever buy a product. What's really cool is it's even got a built-in Keepa chart so you can see sales history and price trends. So that means you don't even need a Keepa subscription. You could also storefront stalk other sellers to find more winning products. Now, one of my favorite features of SellerAmp is the mobile app, and I use it to walk into thrift stores, retail stores, and scan products in seconds and find out if they're profitable or not. Whether you're doing traditional online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, E2A, so on and so forth, SellerAmp gives you the data to make smarter buys and avoid the bad ones. So if you're ready to dive into this video and see these 10 products, learn exactly what I paid for each one, and see proof of the purchase, plus find out the ROI, profit, and how much money I made using SellerAmp's calculator, then let's dive into the video. All right, so we are sitting down in front of my computer right now, and I want to share with you these 10 products that I'm selling on Amazon FBA for huge profits that you can steal, that you can go out there, that you can source, that you can flip. And I'm literally going to show you proof of my actual invoices of purchasing these products, the profits, everything. And of course, big shout out to SellerAmp, because SellerAmp's how I calculate all my profits, figure out my ROI, my profitability, if I could sell the item, how many times a month it's selling. But don't worry, let's just dive right into it right now, okay? So here is the first item that I flipped, flip number 1 of 10, and this is a DVD. Guys, I love flipping DVDs. I've sold probably well over 10,000 DVDs in the last 3 or 4 years alone. You know, DVDs are great. You could find them all over the place. You could find them at thrift stores, garage sales, flea markets, consignment stores, pawn shops. You know, I share this all the time. I dare you to walk into your local pawn shop and scan the DVDs. You'll be shocked how much money you can make from them. But this is a DVD that I sourced with a Replun Catcher, which is a tool that helps me find undervalued products on eBay that I could flip on Amazon. And you can see the actual invoice. I purchased this on June 11th for $28.63. And this isn't a super popular item. I mean, it does have a 16,000 rank, but rank doesn't really mean much. Like, it's important, but you have to understand, like, an item could be like a 200,000 rank, and if it sells today, it's gonna drop down to like 10, 15,000. And depending on like the sales velocity over time, it'll go up and rank faster or slower. So it was 16,000 rank when I took this screenshot, but in 2 days later, it could be 80,000. So that's why you always want to pay attention to Keepa and look at the sales history. But you could see the GoToLister screenshot in the top right-hand corner. So GoToLister is a listing shipping software that I also use, but they have an app where it'll track all of your sales, break down your profit as well. I use this more on the back end. SellerAmp I'm using on the front end when I'm like analyzing and sourcing deals and looking at the BSR and estimated sales. But GoToLister has an app that'll show all your sales and break down your profit analytics, which is really cool. So I just wanted to share that so you know that I'm actually selling these items and not just like, there's just people online who will just make up products just to make up videos and make money with content. It's like, I'm showing you guys actual items I bought. That's why I'm sharing the eBay invoice, which is how I purchased most of these items. I'm sharing with you the GoToLister screenshot, and then the breakdown, of course, with SellerAmp. So bought it for $28.63, sold it for $74.33. And as you can see from the SellerAmp breakdown right here, I made $25.64 on this one DVD that I didn't even have to go to the thrift store. It literally came to me. That's an 89% ROI, guys. 89% ROI. You know, as you can see from the SellerAmp screenshot as well, there's a little max cost button. So you can see that my max cost that I could pay for this item, if I was to sell it at $74.33, was $36.18, because I have a threshold of I want to make at least 50% ROI. So for me to make at least 50% ROI, I could pay up to $36. So this is really, you know, just great to be able to see when you're sourcing and analyzing deals. But an awesome flip right here. Disney, brand new sealed really awesome flip right here. All right, let's move on to flip number 2, The Time in the Tunnel, Volume 1, another DVD. You guys are gonna notice the trend of me flipping a lot of DVDs. I love flipping DVDs. It's just, DVDs are always gonna have a special place in my heart, right? Books and DVDs, because that's how I got started with Amazon, and there's just so much margin in these items. Now, I am gonna share with you in a couple of minutes a few DVDs I sold that kind of tanked in price a little bit. They didn't do as well as I thought they would do, so I made less money, but I'll share that in a few minutes. But paid $16.63 for this DVD right here, brand new sealed. It was a stock photo, as you can see from the picture. And if you're wondering, like, Steve, like maybe you're doing eBay to Amazon, should I buy stock photos? It depends. You got to look at the eBay seller's feedback. How much feedback count do they have? Is it a risky DVD of like possibly being a counterfeit? Go into their store, see what else they're selling. If it looks kind of sketchy, then I stay away. And sometimes they'll leave a description saying stock photo, but it's in great condition, so on and so forth. You could always send them a message as well. But yeah, picked this up and flipped it. I mean, not gonna get rich making $13 profit per DVD, but do this 10, 20 times a day, and you got yourself a business that's making $5,000, $10,000 profit per month. So sold this for $42.99. It was brand new sealed, $13.52 profit, as you can see from Seller Amp's calculator, 81% ROI. 81% ROI. Like, this is why I love eBay to Amazon. This is why I love Replay Catcher, because Replay Catcher scrapes eBay 24/7. All I have to do is put in like a category. So say you want to source DVDs, choose DVDs, and then put in how much profit you want to make. Okay, $7. How much ROI? 40%. Maybe you only want to target eBay sellers that have at least 100 feedback and 99% positive feedback. You could put that into Replay Catcher, hit search, it'll search millions of products and give you all those opportunities, and you could source them. So obviously it takes a bit more work than that, but that's like, you know, a high level overview of how to do it. But yeah, another great flip right here. Here's another one that I flipped. This is a little Scrabble game right here. So I guess, you know, a little board game. This is from 1990. And I flip a lot of items like this. I flip items that are older, that are new, right? That are sealed, and people are looking for these items. People are looking to relive their childhood. They're nostalgic, right? There's a lot of, you know, there's just a lot of memories people have of like playing this game, and they don't want to buy a used one because maybe the pieces are missing or it's all damaged or it's going to smell like smoke. They want to buy it new. You ain't walking into freaking, I know Toys R Us isn't really around, but you're not walking into Kohl's or Toys R Us and finding this item. Like, it doesn't exist anywhere new other than usually like eBay or maybe on Facebook Marketplace. But yeah, I paid $27 and a nickel for this item. And as you can see from the go-to lister screenshot, I sold this item for $58.30. And the Seller Amp breakdown will share with you that this item wasn't even that popular. People will pass on this item because they're like, I only source toys under 100,000 rank. I ain't gonna touch anything that's 200 or 300,000. It's gotta sell 20 times a month. Guys, when you're doing eBay to Amazon or thrifting or Facebook Marketplace sourcing, you wanna fly under the radar, right? You don't wanna be going after super duper popular items that are gonna have a high chance of getting an IP complaint or a counterfeit. I mean, you're not gonna get a freaking IP complaint on this. This is from 1990. Let's do the math. Let's do math live on the Rake and Profit YouTube channel. So 10 years would make it 2000 and then 25. So that's 35 years old. Rake and Profit is here flipping 35-year-old brand new sealed board games and making $21 profit. $21 profit. Seller Amp broke it down. 102% ROI, guys. Go out there. Look for these items. You can see the real life data that I'm actually selling it. You could see the screenshots. I sold this item, and guess what, guys? Guess what? You're not going to be the only one sourcing this. My team, we've added this to our replens list, and guess what? We're going to just go source it again when it becomes available. It might not become available for a month or two, maybe 3 months, because how often is a brand new deluxe travel edition Scrabble game going to come up on eBay at a price that I can make a profit? And sometimes prices change on Amazon, but this is, you know, this is why I love Replay Catcher, because I'll just add it to the Replay Catcher. It'll track it 24/7. It'll be working while you're sleeping. And when that item comes available under 30 bucks, under 28 bucks, you can set up target prices with Replay Catcher to get notified. So, I mean, it's just absolute sick. It's sickening, right? I love it. It's awesome. I absolutely love it. $21 profit. Let's get on to flip number 4. Here's another board game here. I paid $49.78. And do you guys see the trend? 2002 Milton Bradley Stratego. Okay, paid $49.78. 186,000 rank, nothing crazy. Only 6 sales per month, as you can see from the SellerAmp breakdown. Sold it for $114.25. You can see the proof that I actually sold it with the go-to-lister screenshot. And as you can see, I made $37.81 profit, 75% ROI. Now, I do notice that the net profit on go-to-lister, and you'll see the net profit under SellerAmp's a little bit different. And the reason is on SellerAmp, you could add in additional like miscellaneous fees and expenses like VA cost or prep center. I think this takes out like the VA cost and the prep center fee. So that's why it's a little bit different if you're wondering. I think in the future, go-to-lister will probably add that feature as well. But these are just, estimates for you to see, but pretty cool, right? 75% profit. This was brand new sealed. This one comes in like a wooden box. It's really cool. I've actually found this at a thrift store before as well. So yeah, be on the lookout for that, 2002. Flip number 5, we have a toy, right? A Power Rangers Hasbro toy. If you guys aren't engaged in Hasbro, this is definitely a brand I would invest in to get ungated in. Yeah, I mean, definitely a cool little item right here. 214,000 rank in toys. Nothing special, only 10 sales a month. You can see that I paid up for this item. I paid $113.75, but I sold it for $227. Now, when you're doing eBay to Amazon flipping, a lot of people think you need tens of thousands of dollars to do it. Now, if you're running my specific model, I'm spending, right now I'm actually spending about $5,000 to $6,000 a month, sometimes more. This video is going to come out in a couple of weeks, but I put out a post in my eBay to Amazon Masterclass Facebook group, which you could join for free. Just search it on Facebook or whatever. I'm increasing my spend 40% because Q4 is coming. So I want to buy as much inventory as possible and get it there to Amazon before, I really want to get all my inventory in before like mid-November, maybe the first week of November, because it takes time to check in. And if you get it in too late, it won't check in time. But we're increasing our spend to like $10,000 to $11,000 to $12,000 per week. So to run my model where you want to do 700, 800, maybe do $1 million a year, yes, but you can focus on lower ticket items like DVDs and books. Like there's plenty of books and DVDs you can source for $8, $9, $10, $11 and flip them for $30, $35. I just like these high-end items like this Power Rangers, freaking Zord Ascension, whatever, right? The Mighty Morphin Dino Megazord. I like these types of items because they sell fast. There's a couple people on the listing only, and it doesn't take me any more work to flip a $10 item for $30 versus a $115 item for $227, right? It just takes more capital. So there's levels to this game. I don't mean that in like a cocky way, but if you want to flip these high ticket items, you've got to have more capital, right? So, I mean, it's something to shoot for in the future if you're comfortable. But yeah, look at this, $68 profit, 60% ROI. Here's another DVD. This is an example of an item that I was actually looking to sell this for like 80 or 90 bucks, but a bunch of sellers came on the listing. I paid $39.99 for it the fall. This is a 2006 DVD. It's a bit faster of a seller. 19,000 rank, 11 sales per month. In DVDs, it's faster because a lot of the DVDs I flip only sell like once or twice a month. I was trying to sell this for like 80 or 90, but if you look behind the scenes on Keepa, a bunch of sellers came on this listing. And when you have a lot of sellers come on a listing, even though there's good demand for this, the amount of sellers pretty much outpaced the demand and it just tanked the price. Like people were just price cutting and repricers were fighting, and I'm sure I was fighting with the other people as well. And I bought this April 7th. Right now I'm recording this August 12th. So let's just say this got checked in by the end of April. Sometimes it takes like 3 or 4 weeks after the prep center and then going to FBA. Let's just say this checked in like, I don't know, May 7th, right? January, February, March, April, May. So June, July, August. Yeah, so this was sitting for like 3 months. So after a month or two, like we really start pricing aggressively because we're spending a lot of money on inventory, so we need to move our stuff. So this only made a 25% ROI and a $10 profit. It's fine. And you might be thinking, well, Steve, what are you complaining about? It's because most of my items sell for 50, 60, 70, 80% ROI. They really do. And I don't like buying these types of items because it means you made a mistake. And if you go look at the Keepa chart, you can behind the scenes. I can't remember all the details on the Keepa chart, but I could guarantee that we bought it when maybe the amount of sellers was going up. And you just got to be careful with that. I wish we would have paid maybe like 25 or 30, but hey, you live and you learn. But as you can see from the SellerAmp breakdown, still made $10 profit, 25% ROI. Flip number 7, we have a Lego item and paid $108.68 for this Lego Unikitty Uni Kingdom Fairground Fun 41456 is the Lego set number. Paid $108.68. Another example of an item that we just sold for less. I'm not exactly sure what happened. We bought this in June, so usually after about a month, after 5.5 weeks, we start to cut the price down. So usually we're not flipping Lego sets for less than 50-60%. This made 30% ROI, but we still made $32 profit on this item. Now I'll say, if you're going to sell Lego and you're going to sell it new, make sure the box is pristine. Make sure it's in really great condition. Make sure you take a look at the little tape parts that, you know, that tape it over, that verify that it's new and sealed. Make sure that's not retaped. Make sure that hasn't been lifted up. Make sure the box doesn't have any dents, or even like if the corners are getting damaged and beat up. I try to stay away from those. I mean, you can get away with a little if it's like a $30, $40, $50 set, but once you start getting into higher end sets like this, I mean, I sold this for $175. A lot of these people are collecting it and they want the condition to be good. So just be careful. I know we can't fully control like what Amazon does after we ship it to them FBA. Who knows if it gets beat up. The good news is if you do get a negative feedback like for the condition, you can typically get a strike through and request removal, but still $32 profit on this. Next up, we have another DVD right here. This is the Tarzan collection. I've sold this one a bunch of times, guys, and this was a killer profit. This was brand new sealed, paid $28.17, 41,000 rank, 15 sales per month, which is solid, a bit more popular than the normal DVDs that I flip. As you can see, I put the buy cost of $28.17 into SellerAmp, sold it for $85.20 and made $37.86 profit for 134% ROI, guys. This is one of the better flips that I'll be sharing. A lot of my flips are 50, 60, 70% ROI. You know, I don't usually get up to 100, 200% ROI like some booksellers do. A lot of the users of Replay Catcher who do like book flips, they can get up to 100, 200, 300, 400% ROI. But with DVDs, I'm in toys, I'm usually not flipping items for that high of an ROI. So this is a bit rare, bit of anomaly, but definitely a great item. And as you could also see as well on SellerAmp, they have a little box there that says eligible. So SellerAmp, it'll actually integrate with your Amazon account, and it's a good way to double check if you're able to sell the item or not. Replay Catcher also integrates with Amazon, so you can filter out all the items that are restricted, but it's always good to double check it. So nice flip right there. Flip number 9, we got Headbangs. We got another board game right here, paid $18. Bought this on eBay with a Replay Catcher for, it looks like we put $14 in for some reason, but I see the invoice is $18. Oh, I know what this one is. My team told me when we were putting together these slides. I don't think I mentioned this, but there was a friend of mine who actually, he went out of business, right? He went out of business. He ended up getting, I don't know, he had some issues with his account, so he was selling all of his stuff. And this was one of the items that I bought off of him for $14. It says $18 because I've purchased this on eBay before, but I got this off of him for $14. He had all of his stuff at the prep center. He was shutting his business down. He was having issues with his account or whatnot. So I bought like $3,000 worth of his inventory. And this is one of the items that I bought for $14. Made 146% ROI. $20 profit. So this item was not purchased on eBay, but I have purchased it before, and I just told my team to put the invoice there. So there might be one more item like that. Let me see. I'm not sure. No, this is another one that I bought on eBay. So I've shared this in the past. This DVD is called the Mel Brooks Collection, 2012. Paid $64.63, 50% ROI, as you can see. Sold it for $121.99. And this is why it's really important to use, you know, if you're going to do online arbitrage, to use SellerAmp, because SellerAmp will break down the profits, the ROI, and not every DVD is the same. Like Amazon took out a lot of fees on this one, as you can see. And for some reason, I don't know why. Maybe it's because like the product details are wrong, or, I mean, usually the fees have something to do with like the size and the dimension and the category, but the fees were really high in this. So that's why it's really important. Like, don't just assume something's going to make money. Use SellerAmp, put in your buy cost, put in your selling price, and see how much profit you're going to make, see how much the fees are. But yeah, made $32.59 on this and a 50% ROI. So again, want to give a big shout out to everybody who watched, a big shout out to the sponsor of this video, SellerAmp. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, I use SellerAmp every single day. Not only do I use it, my team uses it. We use it to calculate our ROI and profit, which I showed you 10 times in this video. There's a built-in Keepa chart. So we scroll down, we check out the Keepa chart. It's dynamic, so you can look at like 30, 90, 180, 730 days. They have a little buy box analysis tool so you can see who's winning the buy box, which I didn't talk too much about in this video, but I'm always looking before I buy to see the previous history of who's winning the buy box, how often they're winning the buy box, at what price. Again, SellerAmp has a mobile app. I mean, it's great, and it's like 20 bucks a month. It's really cheap, so it's fantastic. But love the people at SellerAmp, love the people who built it, the team over there. So if you do want to check it out and get a free trial, head on over to rakeandprofit.com/SellerAmp. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any more questions about selling on Amazon, sourcing from eBay to Amazon, analyzing deals, anything, drop a comment down below, and I'm happy to help you out. So with that being said, much love, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.